and I haven't done a live for a long time. I'm live with Miss T, the artist, and she's painting the ocean.
I'm just playing
She's
with
playing around
colors.
out here, but I hear somebody with a lawnmower in the distance. Something we don't do here. Oh, he just hit another rock. He's been hitting a lot of rocks. So this is where she's painting, and what a day. It is absolutely beautiful out here on the Gulf Islands. And what you're looking at there are carpus palm trees. Our location is off the extreme far southwest coast of British Columbia, Canada. And these big trees that are towering over us, loaded with flower buds, are uh, arbutus trees. They're Pacific Madrona, Arbutus manzesii. And they look tropical year round, evergreen, the bark peels. And when they flower, which is going to be soon, the bees love it. And it's followed by red berries, which the birds love. So let's just walk around this sun deck first before we head down into the lower jungle garden. That yellow bag is covering up a sable cossearum. That's just heat units. I give it a little bit extra heat units because it's a heat-loving palm. So mostly Trachycarpus palms we're growing here. There's loquat, Eurobotria japonica. How do you like the railing Wendy and I made? We got our friend to build the deck, but we built the railing, and that is rebar. And we did all the woodworking and stuff ourselves. I think it actually turned out pretty good. That was Wendy's idea. Do a rebar railing, and that way you can see the garden through it. So we've got some date palms. This is one of my Phoenix canariensis. Wendy and I have several of these. Grew them from seed. Rapidophyllum hystrix. That's a needle palm right there for you palm lovers. So tune in. If you're around, tune in to Gulf Island Rock. And like I say, we are live here from the southern Gulf Islands off the far southwest coast of Canada. Eucalyptus right there. That one I planted in the early 1990s, and I cut it down once, and then it came back. It was getting really big. There's a self-seeded baby from it right there. And more Trachycarpus palms. And then there's strawberry trees there. Arbutus strawberry trees, Unido compacta. And those were blooming in the winter. The hummingbirds love them. I see there's a dog. And mostly BLEs here. Mostly BLEs. There's a weather station down there, Stevenson Screen. There's olives down there, Olea europeana. There's guava, Feijoa salariana down there. And then that's ficus, carica. That's fig, edible fig. That one's deciduous, and it produces really nice figs. And then down in the bottom there, in the ravine, there's a creek, and there's a pond, and then in behind the bamboo there, Fargesia robusta, there's a whole grove, a big grove of Petasites japonicus giganteum. And then there's also a bald cypress there, a pond cypress, which is about 40 feet tall. Very beautiful tree. It's just starting to get its foliage now. And, well, we got a thumbs up there. That's good. Anyway, so that's a thumbs up. That's a tropical looking bamboo. And there's thousands and thousands of palm trees growing in that forest because I throw so much seed around there. So anyway, it's like a jungle down here. We just admire it from the sun deck. Yeah, I can go down there once in a while. It's on a south slope. It's very warm. And it is like walking through a jungle when you go down there. It's so thick. These are Fatsia trees. They're probably 12 feet tall, something like that, at least, or more. And then there's a Cunninghamiana lanceolata, or is it glauca? Maybe lanceolata. That's a China fir there, which kind of looks like a monkey puzzle. We do have monkey puzzle trees. And actually we have a bird nest in our monkey puzzle tree in one of them. So these are our native trees around us. These are Douglas firs, Pseudotsuga manzesii. See them? And then we have Thuya plicata there. Those are western red cedar. And look at the new growth coming on the eucalyptus. So that's a broadleaf evergreen. Let's go around the front and have a look-see. These are Trachycarpus wagnerianus, and they stay out all winter. And then this is one of my seed-grown Serrano repens, so the southeastern states. That one's also native to the southeastern states. That one right there, the needle palm, Rapidophyllum hystrix, and Wendy's got wire vine around it. And that's Phoenix canariensis. That's a Canary Island date palm. Very short term on this island, even in the mildest areas. I've seen them last about 10 years with no protection. Then you get a bad freeze in it and nukes them. Oh, hello. Nice, cool, nice. Thanks for tuning in.
You have a watcher?
I have a watch. And anyway, here's another cluster of date palms here. And then we'll look over here, and there's like no shortage of palms. There's another off the far southwest coast of British Columbia here. So we're going to walk through our jungle-like garden. Hopefully my internet does not crap out on me. We are using Starlink. You can see it up on the roof way over there. That's Starlink right there. All right, there's my Radio Shack right there. Thanks there, cheeseburger. Cheaper, what does that say? Cheaper Deezer. Cheaper Deezer. Hey, there we go. That's my Radio Shack right there. I have two. This is Wendy's YouTube channel. Okay, I've kind of commandeered it. This is actually Wendy's channel. No, I shoot a lot of videos on here for her. So Gulf Island Rock, and then I have Banana JSSI, and I also have Jungle Joe C Video Gate. So I'm a radio operator. There's one of my antennas up there, Yagi, and that's my radio room right there. That is a Radio Shack full of radios. I talk all over the world on it. Can I get a shout out? Yes, you can get a shout out. Him. I got my glasses on, HIM. Shout out to him. So, okay, we're going to walk through this Canadian jungle garden. Remember, folks, we're not in the tropics. We are in Canada, okay? I'm going to show you some pretty cool plants we grow here. Remember, the winters here do not get cold enough in this part of Canada to bother these plants, okay? Most of these I grew from seed. These palm trees, these are Trachycarpus fortunae. So up there, its flower spathes are coming out. You can see them. You're welcome. You can see the flower spathes coming out up there. So they send out sprays of flowers. That's a male Chinese windmill palm, and these ones grow about 40 feet a trunk. The oldest ones I know of on our island were planted in the 1960s, and they're big palm trees. That's a Trachycarpus wagnerianus. There's hydrangea. Wendy's likes her boxwood. She's got those. Those are pretty easy to grow. And there's a baby Tasmanian tree fern right there. Dicksonia antarctica. I'm going to show you a really big one in a minute. So let's just hope this Wi-Fi, the signal lasts for this live stream. Oh, reconnecting. We're live. Okay. I don't want to venture too far out because then we're going to lose the connection. So let's see. If I lose the connection, then I'm going to have to go around the other way. Okay, so this is your Fatsia japonica trees. You know what else I have here is the Camellia japonica. Camellias are blooming like mad. We have reds. Wendy has them all over the place. She's planted a lot of camellias. They're absolutely spectacular. So there's a lot of things blooming in this exotic garden right now. Oh, thanks there, Don. Hey, I'm glad you're tuned in to Gulf Island Rock. And like I said, this is actually Wendy's YouTube channel, but I put a lot of videos on here for my YouTube channels are actually Banana JSSI, which stands for Banana Joe Salt Spring Island, and Jungle Joe C Video Gates, my other channels. So there's Wendy's gallery there. Her art gallery in the distance says Aloha on it. I don't know how far I can venture out here. Are there any yes, there is reptiles here. We have lizards and we have snakes and we have turtles. Okay, but the turtles are in the lakes. But the lizards are on the land. We have alligator lizards, and then we have lots of snakes here, but no dangerous snakes. But you can see in here, it's pretty tropical looking, you know, even though it's not really tropical. There's no such thing as a tropical place in Canada, but it's tropical-like plants we can actually grow on this island, okay? I haven't done a live stream for a long time. I used to do a lot of them. So these are palms planted many, many years ago. And you know what else is in here that grows like crazy? Jasmine. So this is going to get its leaves on it soon. It's starting to bud out. So this is Jasmine officinale. Goes all up through the bamboo. And the white flowers are absolutely spectacular. It smells like you're in Hawaii when that's blooming. And then we got kiwi over there. There's kiwi vines, big kiwi vines, Actinidia deliciosa, the big fuzzy kiwis. And they grow like frickin' weeds, those things, right? Fatsia japonica. A little bit farther over there through that garden, we got some umbrella trees, some Schefflera taiwaniana. And then there's Camellia japonica there. Radio room is in there behind the Hawaiian flag. So if any of you guys are into radio communication, that's where I talk to the world from right there. That's a beam directional antenna. I point it to where I want to talk. If conditions are right, we talk the world. So let's go down there's a yew tree. It's funny, we were over on Vancouver Island one time and somebody was chucking this thing out. It was at the end of their driveway. So Wendy and I threw it in our vehicle. It was tiny. Look at this thing. Just thriving. Just thriving. But aren't the flowers on these spectacular? So that's pink, right? Camellia. And then there's red ones there. And then over there, there's spring bouquet, viburnum tinus blooming. There's some big palms in the distance. And then I'll show you how these palms grow. They self-seed like weeds. They're coming up in the gravel, right? And under here, these are all palm seedlings. These are all Trachycarpus palm seedlings. They're all over the place. So let's go to the front of the house. Rhodo blooming. Fatsia trees here. These are big ones. These are about 15 feet tall. And Hinoki cypress in there. There's that camellia is absolutely beautiful. Huh? Oh yeah, if you're over on Salts, more heat put on leaves, but they get a lot of nice flowers on them. So that's hibiscus. And then there's Elaeagnus in here and more palms. Epimedium, which is actually evergreen. And then this is, Wendy loves this plant. This is a paper bark maple. They're actually pretty cool and hardy. And the bark peels on them like an arbutus. Where are you, Don? Whereabouts do you live? What is your location? And there's a Magnolia grandiflora, one of them. Our accommodation here is actually Magnolia petal accommodation. One of them. We have two accommodations. I'll shut that. There's my nursery sign, but my nursery's actually down below, right? So, and the reason this says Canada's Hawaiian Island, Aloha A, is because, Ladner. Okay, yeah, there's palms in Ladner. What's your take on Eliza May? Eliza May. Who's Eliza May? Eliza May. Why do I know that? Eliza May. I know an Eliza here. I don't know her last name, though. Are you talking about somebody that lives here, or is it a plant name? Maybe it's a plant name. There's a nice Camellia japonica right there. Look at that. Fatsia japonica. So a lot of Asian trees here, right? Japan, China. And then in here, Photinia are great plants too. We love Photinia fraseri. They call those a Chinese laurel. Then there's a spiderweb. Common greenie. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, you mean, no. Yeah, no, I'm conservative, man. That's who I'm voting for. I'm not liberal, but I mean, you can vote for whoever you want to, right? It's a free country, but after what the liberals have done to this country, no thanks. I would not vote liberal. I'm conservative, man. So I'm praying Carnage Carney does not get back in. These right here are Laurus nobilis. These right here, these are bay trees. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't like her. Elizabeth May. Oh God. I think she's a drunk. I saw her one time giving a talk and she was freaking wasted. Yeah, there's a lot of green signs up around here too, but there's also a lot of conservative signs. This one here, these ones here are called Yucca gloriosa, superba. And this big yucca right here, and I just trimmed all the dead stuff off, is Yucca gigantea, formerly known as Yucca elephantippes. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who wins this election. I'm going to early vote on Good Friday. Got my voting cards in the mail yesterday, so we're all going to vote Friday, Good Friday. That's a common chestnut. And then I'll show you something over here. Just pray that my thing keeps going with the signal. Bunch of waggies in here. Look at that. These stay out all winter long. Those are Trachycarpus wagnerianus palms. It's endless how much stuff this is a very big property, so it's very, very big gardens. Very, very big gardens. There's all of the Olea europeana. Bunch of these around. This here is a Camarops humilis. That's a Mediterranean fan palm. I grew it from seed. The seed was collected in St. George, Utah. And in behind it is a sago palm, Cycas revolutus. So it's a cycad. It's not really a palm tree. You know what else we got here that's blooming like mad, and it spreads like a weed, is Euphorbia wolfenii. So what do you think of that yucca? That's and it'll put on a lot more growth. I planted that in June 2007. That yucca was planted that long ago. It's about 18 years ago. And it's got a pretty good sized trunk on it. You can see. It's like a tree. There's agaves in here, right? Mediterranean fan palm. This one actually took a kicking mid-January 2024. Got set back. but it's coming back. It's been there for years. That was a bad freeze we had. This is a pawpaw tree. Australian, I forget, apple or something like that. It's an Australian plant. Yeah, I brought it in for the winter time. Some bottle brush in there. And then this is cactus. A few cactus here and there. Native cactus. That's the Salt Spring Island native cactus right there to our island. Pot grows on the western slopes here. This is a Fasciscularia bicolor. That's called a Chilean bromeliad. That gets spectacular, very exotic flowers on it. And then privets. We got some big privets in the back that bloom nicely. There's another agave here. So the soil here is very rocky. So you see the rocks around the edge. All these rocks around the edge come out of this garden when you dig. When you dig, it's sandstone and shale. And look at the arbutus trees, eh? These are native arbutus trees. And then through here, I don't want to venture too far though, because I'm worried about my signal dying. Look at the red color on the Photinia. Those were outside the fence. The deer would eat them, man. Deer would munch those up. More Fatsias over there. Beautiful euphorbia. Do not want it in the poinsettia family. Easy to grow. And then more here, different varieties. Olive tree. That one actually got whacked in mid-January 2024. It's coming back. It's refoliating. And then there's Eucalyptus yeomanii right there. That's been outside since 2007 or 2006. Tough one. And then bamboo. And then this is a shade garden along the northeastern side of the house. So we got full of palms. Yeah, no weeding here. Yeah, we don't have to weed here. That's one nice thing about this garden. There's no weeding and there's no lawn mowing, man. It's so thick and there's so many ground covers and stuff in here, we never have to weed. Maybe you have to weed palms out. Look at all the seedlings. Look at all the palm trees. This is how palm trees grow here. Look at them all. So the only weeding we'd have to do is those, but we don't weed palm trees out. They're everywhere. So, and this is Choicea ternata. It's actually a really low maintenance garden. We don't do anything with it. Just water in the summertime, the plants that really need it. Trachycarpus fortunei, all our seed-grown Trachycarpus fortunei, even those. This is Lanicera natita, so that's a box honeysuckle. There's a spiderweb fatsia, regular fatsia. And then, yeah, it's like I say, this is all shade in here. Lots of Trachycarpus palms. But like I say, look at the seedlings in here. They're everywhere. This gets really dry. So it definitely gets stressed out in the summertime. And then there's the tiki tribe, bigger fatsia. Lots of fatsias in here. I planted these ones in the early 1990s. And then here's some tikis, different types of bamboo. That's vivax over there. Not too sure what this one is. I think that's Fargesia robusta. Then there's Vinca major in here, periwinkle. And something smelling really good. There's Carya japonica in there. Oh, I know what it is. Osmanthus burkwoodii. More palms underneath here, understory plants. There's a Cuba japonica, the gold dust plant in there, which likes shade. So remember, yeah, we feed through the year. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm using for feed. I use this. This actually works really well. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I just was feeding today. This one right here. Just use an all-purpose Miracle-Gro, and you hook it up to the hose, and it works really well because every time you water, you know, they're getting food, right? So that one works really good. And you can buy the fertilizer packets at Home Depot. I don't know if they sell them at Walmart. They might sell them at Costco. But yeah, definitely feed through the year, but not in the wintertime. We don't feed in the wintertime. I stopped feeding about mid-August, something like that. And, oh yeah, this is the one that's really fragrant right here. Osmanthus burkwoodii, super sweet smelling, just super scented right there. So that's one you want to try, nice and hardy. And deer don't even like this one. You know what, on the outside of the fence, deer won't bother it. That's a nice big Mahonia. We have native ones here too. This is a big one from Asia. And then there's a Camerops humilis palm, Mediterranean fan palm. Rhodo's going to get nice flowers. Another bay tree in there. Bay tree is actually self-seeder, so that's Laurus nobilis, cooking bay. So much stuff to see in here. Then there's more eucalyptus trees. Our biggest eucalyptus trees we had cut down. They were just getting way out of hand, way too big. Dracunculus. This one gets a really crazy tropical looking flower on it. It smells like kind of rotten meat. And then there's a Eucalyptus debusavilli there. There's a Eucalyptus archeri there. Carria japonica over there. More rhodos. Those ones have just about done blooming. But look at the growth on these. I cut these ones down. They're getting so big. Look at the growth coming on them. We want to keep things smaller. That's a tender one. So it started shooting back up. I don't know it's going to die. It actually froze in mid-January 2024. Then it came up again. And I don't know if it's on its way out. I really don't care. If it dies, it dies. But anyway, that was a tender one. That was a tender one that lasted many years. Mid-January 2024, it froze. And then through here, we've got more bamboo. And then fatsias, lots of seeds on the fatsias. It's great. Bay tree there, bay leaf. And these bloom too. This is Laurus nobilis, your cooking bay. You know when you put the bay leaf in your path. Dude, your knowledge of yours. You know what's crazy, man? I can't remember what I did frickin' yesterday, but I have a mind like a steel trap when it comes from things in the past, right? So, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my age now. I'm 61. So you see this? Look at these flower buds on here. So when these get the seed, these flowers will turn into berries. The berries have seeds in them, and then you drop, and then they self-seed. I'm going to show you a grove of Laurus nobilis, right, which is bay tree, native to the Mediterranean. Oh, is there a bird nest in there? Ah, I think there's a bird nest. I think that might be from last year. That's cool. I never even noticed it before. Awesome. So this is what it's looking like so far. I mean, you've seen our videos, but I'm doing it live. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the live stream. There's some of my seed-grown arbutus trees there, Mainsaisii. And I'll show you the stumps, what's left of the big eucalyptus trees we had cut down in 2021. Mid-February 2021. We had them cut down. So there was a grove, think about it, and imagine it, 100-foot tall grove of eucalyptus trees right here. They're Eucalyptus dollari and Pliana, big trees. So there's stumps, remnants here, there, and I bucked some out with a chainsaw too. We actually had to get the bucket truck, an 80-foot bucket truck, and arborists, paid them a small fortune, and they cut them down for us, and they turned it into firewood. This is a noxious weed here, and a lot of people frickin' hate it. Grows all over this island. I like it. Just got to control it. It's called a Daphne lauriola or spurge laurel, and it's native to, I believe, Asia or maybe Eurasia, somewhere around there. But it grows really good in the shade and super drought tolerant. But it's poisonous, so you don't be putting that in your salad. And then you can see some more palms down in here with boxwood. This is Nandina domestica, heavenly bamboo. Try that one. That's a really nice one. Yeah, good to see you. I'm glad you've tuned in, John. It's pretty cool. Don, thanks for tuning into the live gate. It was a last minute thing. I was sitting outside watching Wendy paint. I go, I forget how to do a live stream on this thing. I'm using her Android, so I'm on Wendy's phone. Like I said, this is Wendy's YouTube channel. It's not mine. My channels are different, but mine are all lots of palm trees and exotic plants on mine. So looking through here, this is one of our accommodations, and I'm going to show you in a minute. Here's a Cyathea cooperi. This is an Australian tree fern. You can see the crozier unfurling here. There's the trunk. These got to be brought in during the really ugly cold weather, you know. But it's looking pretty jungly in here. There's Philostachys bambusoide in here too. See this? Philostachys bambusoide. And that is a timber bamboo, a Japanese timber bamboo, right? And it gets really, really big. But the problem is our soil is so bad, and it's a really aggressive runner in good soil, but that doesn't happen here because this is, you got to use a wrecking bar, like a big post hole shovel, a pick, and a wrecking bar to dig holes here. It's all sandstone and shale. It's just brutal, just brutal. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me put my glasses back on so I can read some stuff. Renfrew. Yeah, Wendy filmed that. Matter of fact, I'll tell you something very interesting. So that was filmed in beginning of August 2013. On our way back from Port Renfrew, we stopped along a creek walked across it a little bit down, and then we walked into like an animal trail, like a deer trail or an elk trail or whatever, and we spotted something there. We don't know what it was. Yes, it was titled Bigfoot site. It could be anything, but it didn't seem very bear-like to us. So we leave it to your imagination. You know, what do you think it could be? And it's interesting. Another television show producer contacted Wendy last week or the week before, and we actually did. Actually, no, it was 2 weeks ago. And last week we actually did a 45-minute Skype with her. So if they use that video for their show, they're going to pay Wendy, and they paid us for the interview. They paid us. They paid us each for the interview, U.S. And it's already made it to the Arts and Entertainment Channel, or the History Channel. Sorry, about 2 years ago, it made it on The Proof Is Out There, and they paid her for it. So that video's made her a lot of money. Whatever it was, we don't know. And the swing video I shot, that's on my channel. And you know the crazy thing, when I worked for the Parks Department, we're down there mowing, and once in a while that swing would start moving. And I remember one time I'm working with my buddy, and he says, oh man, he comes running over. He says, the swing's moving, the swing's over. But his camera, his iPhone malfunctioned. It didn't work. He wanted to shoot a video of it. And I says, that's weird, because when I shot a video of it one time, my camera went, it made like a static electricity noise. It's just really bizarre. So somebody says, well, it's the wind that's blowing it. Well, you know, there was no wind when that thing was moving. And there is native bones buried in there. And then a little boy drowned offshore there in 1977. And there's a memorial bench right beside that swing set. So who knows? I just call it kind of the haunted playground. So here we are. Okay, we're coming down into the lower part of our jungle garden. There's sable minor palm in there. Sable minor razorback from Warren City, the city of Warren. This is a Camerops humilis, seed grown, one of my seed. These are all my seed grown. That's from St. George, Utah. And then here are the woodpeckers. So this is what it's looking like here. Here's one of our accommodations. Aloha ikomo mai. So welcome, come in. And this is called Magnolia Petal Accommodation. So the B&B guests, we have people here stay here year round from all over the world. They park out front. We have 3 driveways here. So this is the lower driveway, and this is their parking spot, very private. And then they come in here. They got their own sun deck, which I'm going to show you in a minute. These laurel trees I grew from cuttings many, many moons ago, and they're about 30 feet tall. And they are just loaded with flowers, flower buds. So when these things bloom, super fragrant. Super fragrant. There's another one of my seed-grown Phoenix canariensis. There's Bear's Breach, Acanthus mollis, Lamium. Wendy hates this stuff. It spreads all over the place. I don't mind it. But like, as you can see, there's no weeding in here. It's just so full of plants, right? This is a Kentia palm that gets a little stressed out. That's a Trachycarpus martianus. Western sword fern, native. This is Viburnum retidophyllum, one of my my cutting grown, and it gets really cool flowers. It's a leather leaf viburnum, and there's a big one on the other side. It's a tree. And here is the remnants of eucalyptus that used to be here, 100-foot eucalyptus. So I carved it into a tiki. And then here's some other big ones. These were my seed-grown eucalyptus tree. There's part of it there I made into a tiki. These are huge trees, man. And then there's another one there behind this palm. Stumps. These are stumps, right? And then there's another one right here. Another one there. So the arborist cut all these things down, right? This is this tree right here. I'll show you something if I can look through the gate. Pseudosassa japonica. This is a Japanese arrow bamboo. And then behind it is some I think there's some black bamboo. Where's my black bamboo? Oh yeah, Philostachys nigra in there. And then there's Philostachys bambuzoide there. And then there's Philostachys aureocelicata, a grove of it in there. That's that twisted cane bamboo, crooked cane bamboo, whatever you call it. There's another snow gum eucalyptus. And we're going to look out here. Hopefully, I'm still getting some Wi-Fi. See that? There's a bigger palm there. Planted that one in February 1987. So it's been outside for over 38 years now. Kind of skirting. Those are redwoods growing behind it. I planted those as saplings, early 1990s. So that's the green one there, Sequoia sempervirens. And then there's a blue one beside it. So that's the coast redwood native to northern coastal California. Palms in there. There's a cutting, stuck this one in there, and it's growing. Stuck it in a few years ago. After you open your canopy, it's definitely brighter. Yeah, definitely brighter. And they're happy. Everything's pretty happy, even though a lot of the stuff's just kind of neglected in here. Wendy starts this stuff all from cuttings. Those I planted years ago, so she clips it off. It's called Senecio Grey, and it's native to New Zealand, and it flowers yellow. It gets yellow daisies on it. Beautiful Camarops I grew from seed and I planted in 1994 there. So it's been over 30 years, and it's got huge fronds on it. Huge fronds, a Mediterranean fan palm growing in rock. So it's bonsai. Don't know the species of this eucalyptus tree. It's always done well in the wintertime. Gary elliptica. That's a silver tassel tree right there. Really, or silk tassel tree. In behind it, there's some big yuccas. And then farther behind it, there's a Cytisus batendarii, so Atlas broom tree, native to the mountains of Morocco. And it gets pineapple broom, it's called. That's what they call it. It looks like big pineapples on it. That that arbutus always gets the blight on it after winter, but it totally recovers. It's got all growth coming out on it. So it gets crispy leaves. There's like a blight that attacks them. These are my seed grown arbutus, native arbutus trees. And then the ocean is right through the trees there. We're right across the street from the ocean here. We actually take our cold water swim. We walk out that driveway, go down the hill, and go across into the street into the ocean. And that's a Bulgarian. That's a Trachycarpus fortunae from Politiv, Bulgaria. I got it from Kirill Donov, the seed, many, many years ago. In that tiki head, this thing self-seeds, by the way. This is a female Trachycarpus fortunae, and I didn't grow that one from seed. And it self-seeds like crazy. They're all through here. There's lots of palm trees growing all over. Even in the tiki head, you can see them sticking out of that tiki head. That's a yew tiki head I carved, and seeds have fallen in there and grown. Right? So I'm not seeing any, not yet, I'm not seeing any flowers popping out yet, but females always open up a little bit later than the males. Okay, so let's go into the back. And the palm nursery, I'm not going to go down to the palm nursery because it's going to run, the Wi-Fi won't go that far. There's lots of yuccas in here too. There's Yucca rigida over there. There's Recurvifolia, Fatsias. And then there's Rhodos in here. Let's go down to the lower sun deck. So this, another nice plant you should grow is this one, Serica cocoruscifolia. This one blooms in the winter and it's super highly scented and nice and hardy. It's a BLE, it's a broadleaf evergreen. Like shade lover. Holobolia is blooming. We got vines up here. Holobolia vines. Look at the flowers coming on them. Really nice. I'm guessing you guys staying. Yeah, well, you know what? We went through the whole immigration process to go to Costa Rica. And then Trudeau brought in the mandates because we couldn't travel because we didn't take that jab. So when you didn't take the jab and you got the mandates and we couldn't leave the country, and there was a 6-month window to get everything done. And it was a lot of work Wendy and I did to go through the immigration process. Had to go to the police station, fingerprinted, had to hire everything from my mother and father's side through Statistics Canada or whatever it is. And then they wanted our marriage certificate, the Costa Rica consulate. But we had to get it apostolized because Wendy and I got married on Maui. So because we got married on Maui, we had to send it back to Honolulu to get it apostolized, whatever, some special seal on it. And they were supposed to send it back to us, the Honolulu department, wherever they do that. They sent it back to the consulate, and the consulate lost it. They lost our marriage certificate just as we had maybe about 2 or 3 weeks left of the 6-month thing that we had to go through. There was a lot of red tape, and they lost it, and then the time ran out. So it says, oh, F it, man. It's not meant to be. So we're here, and we're not going to go anywhere. Right now, we're just going to stay put. We got a really nice place here. So, and I've been here a long time. I've been here for early 90s I moved here. 32 years I've been in this place. Yeah, so, and so this is a Heteromeles arbutifolia. I grew it from seed, and it does get whacked once in a while, but it always puts out new growth. So that's a beautiful California holly. So we'll just stay put for now. There's a Norfolk Island pine. Oh, here's another tree fern. This is a, look at the frond coming out there. This is an Australian tree fern, but they're less cold tolerant than the Dicksonia antarctica. So Cyathea cooperi, and it is unfurling a frond right there. And then another Sarcococa. So B&B guests will be checking in on Friday. So yeah, like I say, right through the winter time. It's a beautiful accommodation. We have like Wendy's runs 2 accommodations here. Exactly. I'll break your heart eventually if you sell. Yeah, I know it'd be hard to sell. I mean, that's the thing. It's I mean, I don't know how long I can stay here. I don't know if I'll be doing this when I'm 80, but like I say, it's a pretty low maintenance garden. There's no lawn to mow. We don't do any weeding, just some watering, a little bit of pruning and trimming because it gets really jungle-like. But yeah, it'd be sad. It'd be really sad to move. There's a Cymbidium orchid. That gets really nice flowers on it. Sable minor. This is Tetrapanax papyrifirus, papyrifir T-Rex. Or no, steroidal giant. That's steroidal giant. Steroidal giant. This one here is Pomelo. Never seen any flowers on it. Somebody gave it to me years ago, years and years ago. So that's a citrus with a bunch of self-seeded tracheies around it. And then this is a kumquat. Kumquat. This one actually produces some nice kumquats too, believe it or not. They're really tasty. And then what else do we have here? Wendy's baskets. Grape hyacinth. These are bay trees, okay? Actually, this one here is a tan bark oak. Lithocarpus henryi. So like evergreen oak. And this is the sun deck where the B&B guests for this area hang out. So this bird of paradise I've had for many, many years. Probably 2.5 decades. And this year it's got 3 flower spikes on it. It's got 1, 2, 3. 3 flower spikes. So stay tuned for when it blooms because I'm going to shoot a video for you. But it's been outside since early March. So, some nights were cool with no frost, but I didn't really like it so much. So that's Washingtonia robusta. And then these are the money plants. Those, they grow like freaking weeds. They just self-seeded in there. I was out here, this pot. Genista in there, that gets yellow flowers. Even this hybrid palm out there all the time. Never comes in. There's heuchera in there too. There's the side of the laurel. And then down beyond our pump house is the nursery. That's where it is, way down there. There's a palm nursery, and there's lots of palm trees down there. Eucalyptus cider gum, so it's gunny eye. And this is all bamboo in here. It's like a bamboo forest with bay trees. Oh, I want to show you the bay trees. And to get through here, I'm going to show you how they self-seed. Wagnerianus palm. These are all bay trees in here, man. Self-seed like weeds from the mother plant, right? And there's huckleberries and everything else growing. Another Eucalyptus parvula, caibiensis coming up there. Eucalyptus. And there's palms down there. You name it. And it kind of grows here, right? Lots of palms down there too. Fireweed. Yeah, this one here is not fireweed. This one here is the money plant. They call it the money plant. It gets the translucent, like they look like coins. They look like money. You'd have to look it up. They grow like a frickin' weed. I forget the Latin name for it. There is a yuzu. This is a yuzu lemon. Really good Japanese lemon. Super yummy. Look at them. And it stays out most of the winter. Only on the coldest nights or days I'll bring it in. And what else do we have here? We have, I thought there was another one. Yuzu. Where's the Meyer? I have a Meyer lemon. No. Sorry. That's Meyer lemon. My bad. Meyer lemon. This is yuzu. And I'm waiting for it to put some leaves on it, but it's got some flower buds on it. And it produces some really nice lemons. Was glad when Wendy did the rails. Yes, I like the rails too. I think they look pretty good. Oh, hey, there it is. I want to show you guys something. Check this out. Here we go, live. Right there. Look at the center of this tree fern. So this is a Dicksonia antarctica. I planted it in April 1994, so 31 years now. And let's go look at the trunk. Camerops humilis. That's another Phoenix canariensis. Let's look at this. So this is evergreen here until the temperature gets down to minus 6.5 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Fahrenheit. or below, then it's not evergreen anymore. But most winters, this is evergreen here. So this past winter was mild and kept all its fronds. Wasn't cold enough to damage it. So let's take a look at the trunk. There's your 6 feet of Tasmanian tree fern trunk, and beside it is Aspidistra. This is a Chamaedorea radicalis palm. It's been outside for 28 years, no protection. And underneath this tree fern are lots of palm trees. Lots of palm trees just growing everywhere. This trunk, and I should water it today, consists of roots, right? So it's good to water it. I water it from the top, and I water the trunk too, and it just kind of sweeps it down like a wick. Trachycarpus fortunei, and then more palms back here. It's warm back here. This is the south slope, and I'll show you the needle palms. What's that? Yeah, bird of paradise. I did. Yeah, and then there's needle palms right there. There's clumps of needle palms right there. That and that. Those are Rhapidophyllum hystrix. Beautiful palm trees. Yeah, it is like a real jungle down and through there. It's really thick. We call it the temperate, the northern jungle. And then there's a Magnolia grandiflora here I grew from seed years ago. Right there. And it is called, Wendy's caught this place called Name Magnolia Petal Accommodation. Right? She's on booking.com. You can look it up. So this is a native dogwood. And let's get a better look at the flowers here. Oh yeah, check this out. It's actually, you can see it from the top. That's BC, British Columbia's provincial flower. Isn't that nice? And they're not fragrant or anything, but man, are they ever beautiful. Love them. So this is right beside the sun deck. So the B&B guests sit out here, and it's nice and private. And let's go back up here. See if I can venture into the back garden a little bit more. Cordyline, that's been outside all winter too. Cordyline australis, just sitting in the pot. Yucca gigantea, more of those I started from cutting. So let's get up through here. It's very warm out here today. Absolutely beautiful. I like days like this when Krista gets home. If she's not home too late, I'm going to go across the street for a cold water dip. I like the blue on the yuccas there. Nice kind of bluish color. Bay tree there. Up there, strawberry tree there. And let's see how far we can get into this courtyard, because I'd like to show you this red camellia. Another strawberry tree there. And yeah, it's nice. You know, when you're growing this stuff, it looks nice year round. You can look out in the winter time and it's always green, right? Always green. Let's see. Oh, kitty cat. Here. Oh, reconnecting. Okay. And you know, over here, there's, wanted to show you the glasses on. Thanks for your, we'll get there eventually. Yeah. Come and visit Salt Spring Island one day. You'll love it. There's sclera trees in there too. Here's the side of my radio room. It's one of my totems, and then Wendy painted it. One of my tiki totems. Schefflera taiwaniana there, and a bigger one there. Umbrella trees. Yeah, it's pretty wild through here. Some really nice, that's Vaccinium native huckleberry, the evergreen one from the far west coast. And then you can see the palms up through there. No shortage of palms here, I'll tell you that. They're everywhere. And Fatsias. There's the umbrella tree. This is a Schefflera taiwaniana. Isn't that beautiful? Never flinches in the wintertime, I'll tell you that. Aspidistra lacher, that's cast iron plant. We got a bunch of that around. And then guava. Chilean guava, I planted it last year, did really well in the wintertime. It actually gets good fruit on it too. One of my seed-grown waggies, another Serica, and just a mix mash of everything growing. Lots of ferns. Wendy has a lot of ferns growing in this garden. And I love ferns. And that sweet woodruff down there too. Okay, back to the deck. So that's it. Part of it. There's still the lower garden I haven't shown you guys yet, but you've seen it on videos. So see what Wendy's created here. She's working in the sun. She's painting. What a day. Don't you love spring, everybody? It's, I think, one of my favorite times of the year. Look at those arbutus trees. Those are over 100 feet tall. And lots of birds here looking through the forest. Yeah, our property goes quite a ways that way, all and down into the ravine and up the other side. Oh, 3,000 plants. How many plants do we have here, Wendy? Wendy goes, oh my God.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably more than three. I'd say, yeah, Wendy thinks about 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, in the forest, there's tons too. I've never counted, never thought about it, but yeah, there are thousands and thousands.
I've spent more money on plants than we ever have.
Wendy spends a lot of money on plants, right? So, but it's a good hobby, right? Growing, gardening exotic plants is a great hobby. And that's moi standing in the Palm Garden right there. Look at those beauties. Aren't they nice? I'm just worried one day those big palms are going to get so high they're going to be in the way of my antenna. I'm going to have to cut them down. I tease, I would never cut down a palm tree. So let's, yeah, I'd have to move the antenna. Yeah. That antenna is 26 foot up, that beam antenna, right? So, but anyway, let's go see what Miss T is up to. Yeah, I want to see this painting she's doing here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that an oil?
No, it's acrylic and it's not near being done.
No.
It's kind of abstract.
It is kind of abstract. And the little doggy's soaking up the sun.
Yeah.
Swampsonia. Yeah, there's so many of them down there, Don. But, you know, I can't go down there with this camera because this Android, the Wi-Fi, the signal will be lost. But, I mean, you've seen the videos. Yeah, they grow down there. They're all down through there because there's a creek. It's a creek that runs through our property, and the creek actually drains out into the ocean across the street. So it gets pretty wet down in that ravine. But even across the street where they go down into the ocean, the creek or the trail, there's a wet spot in there, and that's where I've sowed a lot of seeds over the years. So there's a lot of them growing in the trail to the beach, and they're growing with skunk cabbage, which is crazy. They are growing. You see these palm trees growing in the boggy area with the skunk cabbage, which looks kind of cool, I think. Native plant people probably don't like it, but who cares, right? Oh, it's warm here. It is very, very warm. So anyway, guys, there's a little sneak peek of the garden, right? And I think I'm just going to soak up some sun now and just enjoy like Wendy's enjoying. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Gulf Island Rock. And be sure to check out my channel as well. Whoops, sorry, Kahoo. Sorry, buddy. I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. I gave him a little kick by mistake. Sorry, bud. Now I got to give you a treat. He just turned 12. April 3rd, he turned 12, didn't you? 12 years old. Yeah, you did. 12, so. All right. Yeah, Wendy's a good artist, man. It's like a freaking art gallery in our house. It is an art gallery. It's like Wendy's art gallery, right? She does a lot of art. You know what I mean? Some pretty cool art. I mean, I do the tikis. I carve the tikis and stuff, right? With the chainsaw. But I don't consider myself an artist. But Wendy is an artist, right? Look, she does some pretty wild art. And and then she made that back in high school. It's made out of clay. Isn't that crazy? Buffalo skull. So anyway, see the view here? Look at the view. When you look out the living room window, you're looking at some nice palmy things. So even on a cool, yucky winter day, you can look out there and look at those palm trees and feel that much warmer. Even though it could be freeze your hiney off cold out there, right? So, all right, guys. We will see you guys next time. And have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, Dawn. And have a great day in Ladner and happy palm growing. Remember, plant a palm. You can't grow wrong. Got a little bit of an ocean breeze here. Beautiful blue sky. And I think we're having salmon for dinner tonight too, which is going to be good because I love salmon. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers to y'all. And we'll see you next time. Peace out. And Shaka Wave. Cheers.